What's up, guys? Today we've got a brand new TCG to show you guys.
And it is called Lightseekers.
That's right. It actually looks like a lot of fun. We've been kind of going over how to play the game and things like that, and we want to show you exactly what this game is about and how it works. Personally, I think it looks like it could be a really fun card game to play. But as you can see here, there's a few different things about it that, well, maybe not seem as conventional to a card game like Pokemon, for instance, that you might be used to. What we have in front of us here are 6 different starter decks, and they all have their own relative typing. There's the Tech, Storm, Nature, Mountain, Dread, and Astral starter decks. So we're going to open up and show you guys what the cards look like, what they do, and kind of give you a quick little overview of how the game works.
All right. Move us to this side. I'll go ahead and open up this one here first.
Sounds good. While you do that, I'm going to show you guys quickly what the back of the box here looks like. So as you can see, it includes a starter deck. It can include 1 hero card, 5 combo cards, and 30 action cards. You can battle offline or you can battle online for AR effects, rewards, and in-game abilities. There's a unique tribute card to scan and share with friends to increase its power. There's booster pack. Is it 1 booster pack? Yeah, 1 booster pack. 1 hero, 1 rare, 2 uncommon, and 5 common cards. It comes with a deck storage box and also a playmat and health counter, which is pretty much crucial to playing this game to keep track of your health, which you'll see in just a minute so you guys understand even better.
All right, I'm just taking out everything right now. It looks like we have a little deck box here.
Yep, that's exactly what they were just talking about. So here you go. This is a place to store your cards. A little included cardboard deck box for you with the Lightseekers logo on it and some heroes here.
Here's that pack.
A place to write your name. And here is, as mentioned, the Lightseekers Awakening Booster Pack, official trading card game, 9 augmented reality trading cards. So again, this is pretty new. It's made by Tomy. And well, let's just get this pack opened up and show you guys while you get that mat unveiled.
Yep.
All right, so first and foremost, look at the back of the card. This looks really neat. They put a lot of detailing into this. Say, look at that.
Oh, wow.
It's a very nice looking back of the card here. There is a very nice raised logo here.
All right, how's the mat looking?
That, I gotta zoom out just a bit. Like a lot, actually. So we'll give you an overview there by looking at the mat. There, we'll just leave it right there.
All right.
So here is some of these cards. Now this is what is known as a combo card. You're only allowed to include 1 of each type of combo card into your deck. So you can't have multiple copies of combo cards. This one, for instance, Overload, 8 damage, and you may discard 1 of your combo cards to increase this by 2, plus the discarded combo's cost. So this is a combo card. There's also action cards, there's also item cards, or I'm sorry, action cards, attack cards, defend cards, buff cards, and item cards, and there's also combo cards. So this is a combo card. Here's an attack card. It's Frenzied Kribble. It does 3 damage, increase this by 3 if you have 3 or less cards in your hand, not counting this card. We've got Thunder Slug, which says you may remove burn buffs from another hero. Ambush does 7 damage, increases by 6 of the recipient's last discarded card as a defend card. That's a combo card. And combo cards, as you can see here, have some symbols above it. And these are the only cards that you have to pay a cost in order to play. So your costs are up here. Like this one is an air. This one is a nature, I think. And there's another typing there. So you have to pay these costs to use combos. Here's a hero card. Now this is what your deck is based around in the first place. It's kind of like your main function of the deck and the type of cards you can use. See, this has 3 different typings here, and the one with the border around is the one that it has complete control over. So, for instance, Crab Rider Nada, the ability is deal 1 damage to another hero, can't be increased by effects. And here is essentially what the HP would be. So it has 30. As you can see on the mat here, there's a counter that goes across the board. And this is how you keep track of your health. Everything goes through your hero. So if you've got 30 health to start, you're going to put a little marker right there to mark that you have 30. And as you get attacked, that goes down until you get down to 0, which means you lose the game. Or if you bring your opponent down to 0, you win the game. This is a buff card called Kribble Infiltrator. Does 2 damage to your target at the start of your turn if they have more than 5 cards in their hand. There's another buff card there. A combo defend card. Another combo defend card. This one's actually holographic. That's pretty cool. So there's, like I said, there's a lot of different cards here. Essentially, this is how the game works. You're going to start with a hero card, and you're only going to start with one. You only have one hero card, and your hero goes on your mat right here. So, for instance, let me see. You got the starter deck?
Yep, I already got it open. So
perfect.
Right there, we're going to put our hero there, Zuna.
Zuna has 29 health, and it has an ability to draw 2 cards. Your enemy draws 1 card.
And you can only use 1 ability per turn.
Yep, you can only use 1 ability per turn, but let's go back to the very beginning and start with this. You start your deck with 1 hero card and 35 other cards. You get 30 action cards and 5 combo cards.
Yes, and up to your action cards, you can have up to 3 copies of each.
That's right, you can have 3.
Combos, sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. For combos, you can only have 1 card, so all of your combo cards have to be unique.
Exactly, all the combo cards must be unique, and the action cards are comprised of attack, defend, buff, and item cards, and you need 30 of those. Basically, they are what is going to assist you and your leader in reaching victory. Now, when it comes to playing the game, Phase 1, the start of your turn, you settle any cards that state to do something at the start of your turn. So if you have a card that down here says, deal 2 damage to your opponent's hero at the start of the turn, then you resolve that immediately. That's one thing. Then phase 2 is the buff phase, which means you're going to rotate any cards that need to be rotated and trigger effects. Now, I don't know if I pulled any. Yes, I did. Perfect. All right, as you can see here, this is an example of a card that would have to be rotated. So it starts like this, right? And it gets rotated throughout the turn. So as you can see, it would go from there to there, and then to here, and then when it gets to a corner that doesn't have anything, it's no longer valid for the turn or for the game, and it goes into your discard pile. So you're going to resolve any of the turning buffs as well. So that's how phase 2 works. Phase 3 is the action phase. You can choose to either play 1 combo card or take 2 actions. By playing a combo card, as I said before, you need to pay the cost in order to play that combo card. As I said here, you need to pay 2 cards, or 1 of each of these different elements here, to actually use this card to use your combo. If you use a combo, that's all you can do, and you must choose to use your combo at the beginning of the turn. So that means that if you do that, well, you don't have any other options after that. And if you do something else first, you can't do combo. So if you choose not to combo, you can take up to 2 actions. Using an ability, such as this, counts as 1 action. Using an attack, a defend, or buff card is an example of another action. You could play 2 attacks if you really wanted to. You could play 2 defends. You could use an ability and an attack, or you could choose not to do anything. Now this is where the game gets interesting in the way that you draw.
That's the end phase, first of all.
Yes.
Which is very unique.
That is the very last phase. So if you comboed during your turn, you draw 1 card. If you chose to use both of your actions, you draw 0 cards.
If you've only used 1 of your actions, you draw 1 card. And if you did absolutely nothing, you draw 2 cards.
Exactly. So it kind of depends on where you're at in the game. You got to strategize around what you've done and what you plan to do to set up. So if drawing is better for you, you don't want to take your actions. If you have a way to attack and start dealing lots of damage, or if you have another course of action that works for you, you may want to do that instead. So it's really kind of simplistic at the start to play, but to get in depth and actually get involved with it, it can be a little bit more complicated, and that's for somebody who wants to play a little bit more seriously. But just to simply play the game, it is fairly simple. Like I said, start with a 35 card deck and a leader, and then your phases go from start turn to buff phase to action phase to draw phase. It's pretty fun. I mean, it looks like it'd be a really, really good game to play. There's a lot of different things that you can do. There's a lot of different typings, and you can just kind of build it around what you want it to be. And you don't have to stick to what the starter decks are. You could actually build cross decks as well with different typings in them. Now on here, as you can see, there are a bunch of different elements that go with each of these typings. With Astral, you have Solar, Lunar, and Gravity. Those are your symbols there. For Dread, you have Poison, Death, and Shadow. For Mountain, you have Fire, Earth, and Crystal. Nature, you have Animal, Forest, and Soul. These are the ones we were trying to figure out before. Animal and Forest was that combo that we were looking to fulfill before. Storm has Lightning, Water, and Air. And Tech has Explosives, Mechanical, and Time. So, for instance, our leader, Zuna here, is a master of Time and explosives. Now that means that Zuna can play 2 of the same kind of element card. You just can't play 2 cards with the same name on it in one turn, and you cannot play 2 cards of the same element unless it is a master of that element. So as I said here, since it's a master of those 2, you can do that, but otherwise it has explosives, mechanical, and time. Those are the cards that this leader can actually use in order to play the game. So that's pretty interesting there, how that would work. And this is one that I've seen that does have 2, and not all of them do. Some of them are only masters of 1. So it depends on how you want to play the game and what you see the best to your benefit. Another thing to add here as well is that the buff cards that add health to your hero's current health, they can never exceed 35. That is the highest it goes. So no matter what, if there was a card that said buff your opponent, your leader's health by 10, you still couldn't go past 35. So no matter what, you will always have no more than 35 health, regardless of what kind of cards that you play. So once you have a deck built, the way that you start the game is both decks, yours and your opponent's, are shuffled and placed down on the table next to the hero who is kept face up. So this is your deck area right here.
Do that quickly.
Yep, so he's going to demonstrate that as I continue here. You randomly decide the play order, which means you can pretty much decide it any way you want. You can agree upon who goes first, you can flip a coin, you can do a dice roll, rock, paper, scissors, any kind of random way to decide who goes first. Once you do that, you sit down in a circle because you can play, actually, you can play more people than just 2.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. The first player draws 4 cards from their deck. That is their starting hand. The second player draws starts with 5 cards, third with 6, and fourth onwards start with 7. So the person can start 7. So if you choose to go first, you actually start with the least number of cards in hand. Which
I actually like that, because a lot of card games, especially when they first start, they make it so that going first means you basically win. This way it's balanced completely, so I like that a lot.
I do too. I think that's really neat. As I said, the starting health of each hero is displayed on the hero card, and you use the Lightseekers playmat here and health counter to keep track of how much health you have, which there's a life counter for you right there, which is also included.
And we're going to assume that we're going first here, so we're going to draw our 4 cards.
Yes.
And this is what we drew.
So if you start with more than 2 people, the player on your left is your target and the player on your right is your enemy. So if you're playing a 2-player game, obviously your opponent's both your target and your enemy. The objective of the game is to reduce your target to 0 health, at which point they are removed from the game and the next person on the left is your new target. Continues until there's only 1 person left. So if you're playing multiple people, that's how that would work. Otherwise, it's just you and your opponent. So as I said in the very beginning, they take turns in a clockwise order. Each player's turn is divided into 5 phases in total. Like I said, there's the start of the turn, handle any effects on heroes, items, or buffs in that order that take place at the start of the turn. The buff phase, rotate all buffs that need rotating, and following that, activate any lingering effects such as reduced damage received or increased damage done that have come into play as a result of this. Discard any buffs that have expired, which, as I said before, the buffs expire when you turn it to a corner that no longer has any numbers on it, which I had here.
I shuffled.
You shuffled, so that's fine. I mean, we're not playing the game anyway right now. We're just showing you guys. So once you turn this to a corner that does not have anything, this corner, then it expires and it is discarded. Then you handle all instant effects on buffs. Note that effects listed as abilities don't trigger at this stage. Now, after that comes the action phase, where you can either play a combo or perform up to 2 actions, and that means you can play an action card that isn't a combo and use an ability on one of your cards, or you may play 2 attacks, or you may play with just the 1 ability, or you can play 1 attack, or you can do nothing, either way.
Yep.
That's how you determine your draw phase as well.
So with this hand here, we don't have any combos or buffs, but we have 3 attacks and a defend, and they're all of the time, so we could play 2 of these if we wanted to.
Yes, that is correct.
Because he's mastered time.
Exactly. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to do so.
Right.
So, again, once you decide what you're going to do, you can figure out what your draw phase is going to be. So, if we play 1 action card, we can draw 1 card. If we play 2 action cards, we don't draw. We activate an ability in play, then we draw 0 cards. Or if we just use the ability, we draw 1 card.
All right, so let's just do a quick little scenario here just to show them. What do you think we should do? Should we play 2 action cards? Should we just play an ability in action?
I think we do an ability in an action.
Ability in an action? All right. So we'll use Zuna's ability here. You draw 2 cards and your enemy draws 1.
In this particular leader, I guess draw is not such a huge factor because you've got built-in draw into the ability.
So we draw our 2 cards here, and then the opponent will draw 1, and then we have 1 action left. So we have a lot of actions here. I mean, we have a lot of attacks here. we have a defend, and now we have a buff. That's what we're talking about.
Exactly, and you can choose to play any one of those or none at all, so I'll leave that up to you.
We'll go ahead and play Chronomoth, which does 3 damage to your opponent, and you immediately draw a card.
So again, this deck doesn't even necessarily need draw with attacks like that. So then at that point, your turn is already over because you've decided to do 2 actions.
Yep.
You have no draw phase, and the phase 5 is the end of turn. Effects that trigger the end of the turn take effect if you have no cards left in your deck. You also need to perform the empty deck check. So the goal of the game here is to reduce your opponent to 0 health. They've been defeated and removed from the game. Regardless of how they reached 0 health, the player on the right receives a victory point, 5 health, and move any 5 discarded cards back into their deck. So it's like there's rules for multiplayer that can actually be beneficial. If you knock out your opponent, it actually helps your enemy. That's kind of crazy.
Wow.
That is pretty interesting. But there's a lot more to this card game than that. I mean, we're just going over some quick basics with you, just to show you guys a little bit about it. Obviously, if you want to know more, there are videos on the official website that go into a little bit more depth. But again, the cards look really cool. As I said before, I think the art looks really neat. The back is super well done. Like, it's glossy, very high quality. I have no complaints about the way that these cards are made at all. They're made very well. I don't see any issues with these holding up at all in any way, shape, or form. I mean, we've shuffled these around a little bit without any sleeves on them, and there's really no damage on them. So, very quality made product, and it looks like it'd be a super fun game. So, it's something I would recommend. I mean, I think we are actually going to try it out. We've got some starter decks here that we can play with. So,
oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely a good, fun game, I think. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this video. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. Hopefully you guys check out Lightseekers again. We'll put a link to their website in the description down below for you guys, so you can check it out. And let us know what you think in the comment section down below. And, well, that's going to do it for today, guys. So check out Lightseekers, have some fun, and we'll see you guys next time. Take care.
See you later.